The United Action for Democracy (UAD) has urged President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to order the immediate and unconditional release of Ramzi Abu Ibrahim and other Palestinian community leaders reportedly detained by Nigerian security agencies. The call was made in Abuja during a peaceful protest to the Federal Ministry of Foreign Affairs led by UAD Secretary Kunle Ajayi. The group expressed outrage at the arrest, describing them as a violation of due process and fundamental human rights conventions to which Nigeria is a signatory. The protesters warned that Nigeria must not allow itself to be drawn into the long-standing conflict between Israel and Palestine. They argued that the country, already struggling with economic hardship, insecurity, and social instability, cannot afford to become a pawn in foreign proxy wars. According to UAD, the detention of Abu Ibrahim, a vocal advocate against attacks on civilians and journalists in Gaza, is directly linked to his activism. The group linked the move to the recent security and intelligence pact signed between Nigeria and Israel, raising fears that Nigeria's security apparatus is being used to silence legitimate voices of solidarity with Palestine. Civil society organizations supporting the protest stressed that advocacy for Palestine rights is not a crime and that suppressing such voices undermines democracy, human rights, and Nigeria's constitutional values. They reiterated their support for a two-state solution as the only sustainable path to peace in the Middle East. Co-signing the demand for Ibrahim's release were several organizations, including All Workers' Convergence, Lagos State Liberation Congress, Center for Human and Socio-Economic Rights, Yoruba Youth Assembly, Center for Human Rights Advocacy, Center Against Injustice and Domestic Violence, Youth Initiative Agenda for Democratic Process, Southwest People Parliament Agenda, Peace Initiative for Better Nigeria, and Youth League Academy.
To see the Middle East feud between Israel and Palestine, we won again. If we allow our state apparatus, the Nigerian state apparatus, to be deployed into the fratricida Middle East feud between Israel and Palestine, Nigeria will be comfortably on the slide to Golgotha. We unequivocally condemn the Palestine-Israel hostilities, the Israel-Palestine war, just like we condemn the Ukraine-Russian war, as carefully designed imperial, neo-colonial proxy imbroglio. The recent arrest of the leaders of the Palestinian community in Nigeria has sparked outrage and deep concern following reports that the Nigerian security forces abducted them in a manner that violates due process and globally recognized fundamental human rights principles, tenets, and conventions, which the Nigerian state is a party to. You remember that the Nigerian state is also a party to the freedom of Palestine, in view of the fact that we also stood with South Africa in the case of the apartheid. The fragile Nigerian state cannot afford to toy with fire. Nigeria can ill afford being dragged willy-nilly into the Middle East burning crisis. It is apposite to note that we are battling with a battered economy, as we all know.
Yes.
No, the food crisis, the petrol crisis, insecurity, and a lot of that. We have farmers-elders clashes in Nigeria today. We also have the Boko Haram crisis, kidnapping and what have you. And all use of social vices. Nigeria cannot blindfoldedly be deployed as a proxy, errand tool in Israel versus Palestine belligerencies. Because for us, there are Israeli community in Nigeria too, and there is the Palestine community. Why would the Nigerian security forces arrest people from the Palestine community, especially when none of them had even had any public outrage in Nigeria as a community as it is? It is highly important that operators of Nigerian state must recognize, one, the fundamental ground norms of the Nigerian Federation Unit, including one, unity in diversity, non-secularism, recognition of strength in its heterogeneity, respect of its enshrined constitutionalism, human rights, democratic principles, and values. Without mincing words, it beckons on all of us, persons of good conscience, to rally round the obviously underdog in the Middle East tussle, a seemingly perpetual footmat, if not whipping doll of imperialist West and allies. The recent Gestapo-like abduction of Palestinians in the country pricked our conscience to take a stand for humanity. Because Nigeria, in the heydays of apartheid system against South Africa, took a very ground stand. Until today, history keeps standing with Nigeria over that. Among those reportedly detained is Ramzi Abu Ibrahim, a prominent advocate who has consistently spoken against the genocidal attacks on the civilians in Gaza. You can all see it. Globally, we see the destruction that is going in Gaza. Against all ethics of wars, even when it's in times of war, You don't go to hospitals, destroy hospitals. You don't allow AIDS. You kill journalists. A lot of journalists have been killed.
Yes.
Both in Al Jazeera, all of the global journalism institutions can tell you of 1 or 2 casualties thus far. Thus far, Gaza has been subjected to years of brutality, hunger, and starvation imposed by the Western-backed Israeli aggression, and Ibrahim has played a central role in highlighting this injustice. The arrest of Ibrahim cannot be separated from his activism, especially in the light of recent security and intelligence pact signed between the Nigerian government and the State of Israel. We knew that recently that it was signed, and many Nigerians have been worried about this because it means that Nigeria is already taking a stand in this condemnable war. And all of us know that we need to ask the world to stop the war.
Absolutely.
This development raises serious concern that Nigerian security apparatus is being deployed to suppress legitimate voices of dissent and of solidarity with Palestine, because Nigerians solidarize against apartheid, and we are against apartheid in all forms, against oppression in all forms.
Yes.
We affirm that 1, we advocate for the rights of Palestinians, and this is not a crime.
Yes.
2, Nigeria must not allow itself to become a tool of external powers in silencing dissent.
Yes.
3, the detention of Ibrahim and other Palestinian community leaders is an assault on freedom of expression, association, and human rights, as is enshrined in Section 2 of the Nigerian 1999 Constitution. 4, we call for the solution to all of the issues in Israel-Palestine, which is the 2-nation state, to the Middle East dilemma of double face of same coins of our collective humanity. Because for us, we believe that Israel can stand on its own, Palestine can also stand on their own without aggressions. Because there are a lot of countries that are standing side by side today without aggressions. We also demand that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu should immediately and unconditionally release Ramzi Ibrahim and other detained Palestinian community leaders. In this global war, we should take the stand of peace. We should respect the rights of Palestinians in Nigeria, ensuring they are not subjected to harassment, humiliation, or political repression.
Yes.
We should review and consider any agreements with the Israeli government that compromise Nigerians' independence and undermine the democratic rights of residents within this border. Any agreement that borders on imperialism and makes Nigeria a second field, we must review immediately. Finally, Nigeria must stand on the side of justice and not allow its territory or institutions to be used to stifle the voices calling for freedom, dignity, and peace, not only in Palestine, but also in the Ukraine versus Russia war and in all worlds globally. Global peace is unconditionally a condition that all of us must uphold. Organizations that are also signing alongside the United Action for Democracy includes All Workers Convergence, Lagos State Liberation Congress, Center for Human and Social Economic Rights, Yoruba Youth Assembly, Center for Human Rights Advocacy, Center Against Injustice and Domestic Violence, Youth Initiative Agenda for Democratic Process, Southwest Local Parliamentary Agenda, Peace Initiative for Better Nigeria, and the Youth League Academy. I am Kunle Wiseman Ajayi. I sign on behalf of Comrade Omotaji Olawale Saint World Board International Network Wing, and as the General Secretary of the United Action for Democracy. So we entertain questions from General. Thank you. Aluta, continue.
All right, so I'd like to ask you now, while
We have called for peace internally and also externally. But one of the reasons why we also have those problems in Benue and all the other places are imperialist pacts that our country unnecessarily signed. We know today that what you call the second Boko Haram, which is what do they call it? ISIS, the one that is related to ISIS. It is what was brought upon us by agents of the imperialists, especially the United States and whatever. So for us, our position is that what is related to external peace is also related to internal peace. If you cannot support global peace, global justice, global dignity, and global integrity, there is no way you can have such within your own country as it is today. Because if you look at it in Nigeria today, there are also neo-imperialist hands in the internal wars and crises that is happening. So we should not, because we have Boko Haram issues here, because a lot of people globally too are also in solidarity with Nigeria against Boko Haram, against ISIS, against all of the bandits that you have that are coming to Nigeria, both for economic and imperialist reasons. Further questions? Please. Thank you so much. And once again, Kunle Wiseman, General Secretary of the United Nations. The Nigerian president also has
Baba Sunday, Eagles FM News.